Hello and welcome to the Nonsense Chronicles. This is Doug, and as always, I'm joined by
Rob Mendiola.
There we go. And pretty basic week this week, I guess. Decent weather, and gonna boil a little crawfish at the end of the week for the first time in a while. Somebody else is not cooking it for me, so my lazy kids are coming over. But today we are talking to Mr. Josey Scott of Saliva, of what? Well, I mean, there's multiple facets on Josey Scott. He's also done the solo stuff. He did Hero.
Big collaborations.
Yeah, I love that song, man. That is one of my favorite. And now, what's the name of the new band? We just talked about that earlier.
It's called Shade Violet.
Shade Violet. Now, when you come to Katy, are you going to be with Shade Violet or just you?
No, it's going to be just Josey Scott's Saliva, just my version of the Saliva stuff, doing all the old hits and everything, doing all the classic stuff.
Are you doing the Shade Violet stuff in the background?
No, I'm not going to pull any Shade Violet stuff out yet. I'm working on that stuff now. I'm working on a Shade Violet record now.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I had the first single almost done, and I'm sort of saving that for its own record and its own tour, and I'm gonna go back out and get reacquainted with the fans again, and bring them all those Saliva songs that they love from the early 2000s, and just play all the stuff that they already know, and
that's what they want to hear, right?
Hopefully they remember who I am.
Yeah, they do want to hear it. I do want to hear Hero. Are you performing that?
Absolutely, man.
Heck cool. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that song, man.
It's one of my favorite songs to sing. It's a really fun bluesy song to sing. So it's one of my choice favorites to put in the set list.
I liked it a lot when it came out. I like the Spider-Man movies, but I've always been, Metallica is my favorite band, but I love the harmonies. I love the Eagles, and man, that just, anything with a good harmony, I'm a big fan of. And yeah, y'all did that song, and I thought it was fantastic. And
thank you, brother. Thank you.
That I think that is that's my favorite work by you. I think Ladies and Gentlemen would be number 2.
Oh, it's a fun song.
Yeah.
I love Ladies and Gentlemen too.
I came in to our studio at Robin Spring's house, and I said, hey, when you're listening to Click, Click, Boom, and I'm saying I knew because as I looked it up 1,000 years ago, I said, tell me if you hear this when you hear the vocals like in the chorus. And they looked at me like I was from Mars. But I told them, I said, it sounds like it's either Ozzy or Zach singing that part. You know what I'm talking about? Has anybody ever mentioned that to you before in that song?
I've been told that I sound a little like Ozzy before. I got a lot of my vowel shaping. I know that sounds pretty weird, but the way Ozzy shapes his vowels, a lot of vocal coaches will tell you that he, like, for instance, when he says, Mama, I'm coming home.
Yeah. And
he gets like 4 syllables out of the word home.
Yeah. And see that when I heard, it's not on the rap part, but it's on the vocal part in between, which I don't even know what that's called. Not the bridge or
verse.
It's just, yeah.
Hook.
And I said, my God, did he? For the longest time, I thought that. And I said, let me look that up. And I could find nothing on that. So I said, no, there's no Ozzy in there. No Zach Wild.
Yet.
Yeah. So, yeah. I was always confused.
Ozzy's a big, huge influence of mine, though, man. Always has been.
I could see that, man.
He's a great front man. So
yeah, he's growing up, man, I can remember my parents did not want me to listen to Ozzy or Black Sabbath.
Same.
And then it's so funny that now he's, then years later he's at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and he's getting called out by the president. I'm like, oh boy, things really have changed, But yeah, that's definitely life, man. So what have you been doing with yourself, man? We know all the No Saliva, and I saw you get back up on stage with them. That was awesome.
Yeah, man. I just been, I was fortunate enough to be able to get back up on stage with Wayne before he passed. And that was a
Thank
really
God.
special moment. Yeah. My best friend, the day Wayne passed away, he said, man, thank God for Blue Ridge. And I totally agreed. And, ever since then, I've been, getting healthier and been going to the gym and getting in shape. And, my kids are a little older now. And I told my wife, I said, when the kids get a little older, I'd like to, maybe go back out on the road and see what I can do with music again. And just sort of stick my toe in the water and see how it feels. And it's been such a positive, overwhelming response, man. I'm just looking so forward to getting back out there and playing for the fans again, and sharing those intimate moments with the fans. Because the most popular thing I hear from the fans is that your music got me through a really rough time in my life, and I've always thought that music was medicine.
Agreed. I agree.
And singing is medicine, and one hand washes the other one, man. And I want to get back out there and continue helping people with my music, and it helps me as much as it ever helped them.
And they'll love it, man. I mean, yeah, you'll have no problem. People have been talking about this for quite some time, about you getting back out there, and I think you'll do great. I talked to the old drummer Paul the other day about you getting with us, and I asked him. He goes, "Oh yeah, we talk a couple times a week, and I know y'all all got together in Memphis, and yeah, Paul's a good guy." That's a joke,
hilarious.
Paul. When you hear this, that's a joke that I tell only with friends that know him too. I'll say, like, we talk about kids, like, well, you'll never catch Paul. That's what we tell him. But man, I tell you what, he is, he's spending that good time with him, and that's nothing better than that, man.
That's a fact.
Now see, you've got a show coming up in Oklahoma City on what, like the 10th?
Yeah, I have a show coming up in OKC on the 5th, actually, on
my bad.
Cinco de Mayo, 2 days after my birthday. My birthday's coming up Wednesday, and then
hooray for
I'm
May
gonna do my
birthdays.
birthday show. Yep, and I'm gonna play in OKC on May 5th, and then I got some more shows coming up in Texas, and some shows coming up in Indiana and in Illinois, and I'm just going to make my way around the United States.
That's the way to do it, and we will push you as much as possible, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You bet, man. What do you, I guess what we always ask is, where did you start with music? What got you into music?
Well, my dad was a country gospel artist when I was a kid, and he was also a preacher. And
That's so bizarre.
so
Yeah.
I'm a preacher's kid, and
We get that a
so
lot.
for the first 8 years, what's that?
As Rob said, we get that a lot, and that's true. It's usually parents who are a musician or they were a preacher. Yeah, so,
Brought up in the church.
Yeah, that is-
music is a big part of that.
I guarantee you, I think every single person we talk to, that's the case.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm a typical PK, and growing up, in the church for the first 8 years of my life, I just was dying to get on stage with him and my sister, because my dad would get up, back in the old days, the preacher would get up and do 2 or 3 songs, and then they'd preach for 30 minutes to an hour, and then they'd get up and do 2 or 3 more songs. And I was just mystified seeing my daddy on stage, man. And I was like, I want to get up there. And I figured out how to play drums. I used to beat on my mother's pots and pans in the middle of the kitchen floor.
That'll work.
When I was 5 or 6 years old, and they finally got me a little cheap drum kit, a little pearl. Actually, it wasn't cheap. It was a nice little pearl kit, and I finally got to get up on stage with my dad and play drums from the age 5 to about 9 years old.
Wow!
I did that, and then I discovered once my parents left the church. Around the time I was 8 years old, I started to discover the pop radio, and around that time, Journey was real big on the radio, and I discovered that song "Who's Crying Now" by Journey.
Oh yeah,
and I was like,
good stuff.
One love goodbye.
Yeah, that's
One
good stuff.
heart burns desire. And I was like, oh man, I think I could really enjoy doing this. So I used to set my tape. I had a little Kmart tape recorder that I used to set across the room from my radio, and I would turn the radio down low enough that you couldn't hear the person singing. You could just hear the music, and I would sing into my little tapes, and I would tape myself. Well, my parents busted my bedroom door down, and they said, "You can sing," and we know it now. So after they figured that out, they put me in vocal lessons and had me singing country songs, and started me out singing like George Jones and Merle Haggard and stuff like that. And I hated them for it at first, but I thanked them for it later on in my life, because it taught me my voice at such a young age.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I've always had a I don't see how any of the singers get it, because I don't know, man. Most singers I know are some self-hating SOBs, but when they judge themselves. But yeah, just getting in front of that many people and singing, it's a little bit different than getting up and talking.
Right.
It's a good trick, and your parents start. I think back of all the times I knew kids that were taking piano, and you're like, oh man, now if I look back at that, I'm like, gee, that would have been nice to have done, so yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, because you're getting, that's because later on in life we all got into music, and that's.
It sounds like Josey kind of took the lead on all that, though.
Yeah, he did. He took the bull by the horn there, buddy.
Beating pots and pans and recording his own tapes.
Yeah. I was going to say there was
putting
no
together his own super group.
He couldn't really get on YouTube and do the karaoke stuff, because that really wasn't invented yet.
Not yet.
Hey, boy.
Yeah, man, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't have imagined having all the technology at my fingertips that these kids have.
Right.
Man, I'd have never left my computer.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing now. I saw, like, at the NFL draft, there was somebody, like later rounds, they have different people announcing announcing the pick for each team. And like some guy was up there, and I'm like, he must be country or something, because I don't know who he is. And no, his title underneath his name was influencer. I'm like,
right.
Oh my God, man. Yeah. I was telling my dad this the other day. My dad's getting ready to be 88, and I said, I think there's a reason why we only live to be a certain age, Dad. Is because we don't want we can't really take the changes that come on later in life. It's just too much. It's just too much, man. But
well, that's cool, man, that you still got your daddy at 88. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah, and Mom will be 90 this year, man. Wow. My feeling is you just go in every once in a while and you spray them down with WD-40, and then come back. But yeah, I feel truly blessed, man. I do, and they still ask me if I listen to this type of music, and still sorry,
down with the click boom.
Yeah. But where did you go from there? Did you do the high school band deal, or Did you
Well,
form
I kept singing throughout, my early teens, and then went back to playing drums because my first love was drums. And later on, meeting people like Steven Tyler, I figured out that all my favorite singers were drummers.
Huh.
And so playing drums has been a really pivotal part of my musical career, because it has really gave me a good sense of timing, and knowing where that 1 and 4 is has
Right.
been really helpful throughout my musical career. So when my babies were little, I would set them at the dinner table with us, and I would take my knife and fork, and I would be like, I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'd get them to bang their fork and spoon along with me, so I could teach them timing, and instill that in them. And it's been really helpful in teaching them how to do music too. Both my daughters are really, really good singers, and my son is also a good singer and a good bass player, and also all of them love drums. They love all kinds of beats and everything. And so once I became a teenager, like I said, I kept playing drums. And then once I got to be like 17 or 18 years old, one day I just looked down at my hands, and my hands were bleeding. And I was like, what the hell am I doing? I could sing. I think I'm just going to stick to singing.
Yeah, it's a little bit better on the elbows and shoulders,
Right.
all of that stuff, man. Those
Yeah.
guys, they get some wear and tear over the years.
Absolutely. But I do love playing drums. I still play drums to this day. I have a drum kit here in my little home studio, and I'll go up there and bang around on it and figure out different beats for different songs that I'm writing on. And but I love to sing, man. That's my favorite thing in the whole world to do.
Well, it's good that you're getting out there and doing it again, man. Like I said, there's plenty of space for it, and plenty of people will love to hear it again, man.
Have you started experimenting with any of the newer, like electronic kits or anything in your music?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. The producer I'm working with now is really good at marrying the two worlds of rock and hip hop, because that's always been in my playbook, as you can hear in all my songs. I've always, ever since I saw Run DMC
Yeah,
and
they saved
Aerosmith,
Aerosmith. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, ever since I saw that video when I was a kid, and then saw bands like Beastie Boys and
Right.
and Run DMC, and then I grew up listening to NWA and Public Enemy, and then bands like AC/DC. They were early rap to me too, because they were like doing songs like Back in Black. That was just another form of rap to me,
It's true.
because
And,
they're like, Back in Black, I hit the sack, I bet you know I'm glad to be back. Yes, I'm getting loose from the news.
that is true. I never thought about that.
Hanging around. So I've always been really into any kind of music that's beat oriented. So hip hop has always been, really moved my soul. Stuff like AC/DC has always moved my soul. Anything that's got a heavy, fat ass beat.
You can feel that in your vocals.
Yeah, like look,
absolutely.
I hear a lot of your vocals, and it does have a
that's a
little bit of a
perfect
flavor
fit. Yeah.
of your hip hop flavor.
Look, man, I'm 56, and I just discovered Hollywood Undead last year. And man, I love them, and that's anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big fan.
That song Undead, the first time I heard that, I think I almost wrecked my car the first time I heard that.
Yeah, that's it's amazing the new tricks you can find, man. But it's so easy to find music these days. It's everywhere.
Well, that's cool. You're adding those
That-
styles.
Yeah, and I love marrying those styles,
Yeah.
man. Like finding new ways to bring those two styles together. And I was talking to Bobby the other day, the current singer of Saliva, and he was asking me about songwriting and everything, and I said, man, my playbook has been the same all this time. I do hip hoppy rap rock verses and a gigantic undeniable chorus for the hook.
Yeah, they make
That's
good
my
hooks.
whole
Yeah.
playbook.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go, man. That worked really well for you in the past, and yeah, you should stick with it.
So your new band,
Right.
where did you get the players for your new band? There's some people you knew, or
Well, I at first I played with some really cool guys from out in Los Angeles. The girl that was playing drums for Saliva, her name's Tasha Jones. She's an amazing drummer, man. And I got to jam with her for a while, and a guitar player out there came out and jammed with me for a while. I really enjoyed getting to jam with them, but they were so far away I couldn't afford to keep flying them all over the United States. So I got me some local guys here around Tulsa where I live, and we finally got in the rehearsal space and began to cook up some stuff of our own, man. Tulsa really has some amazing rock musicians that I've really enjoyed playing with. My bass player, his name is Nine, and he's in a couple of bands here in Tulsa. And my guitar player Ben is really an amazing. He's all about doing this Saliva music justice, and really, especially since Wayne has passed away, doing a really great tribute to Wayne Sweeney with his playing, because I'm not trying to reinvent what we did. I just want to do it justice. I just want to do honor to that music and to the fans that love that music. And these guys that I found around Tulsa, my drummer, Justin Barber, is another amazing, talented guy. And my current rhythm guitar player is my stepson, Dynamite DeLone, man. He is a amazing rhythm guitar player, and really, plays really chunky riffs. And I think I've explained to him what that Memphis bounce is, and he's really began to lock on to that hip hop style rhythm guitar,
Nice.
And I just got I've been blessed with a really good band here in Tulsa, and we're looking forward to going on the road.
Nice.
That's good, man.
Are y'all going to do any single releases or just album kind of releases?
No, I'm working on a single right now for Shade Violet that I'm going to release after I get done doing the Saliva, my little Saliva tribute tour.
Okay.
That's good, man. Yeah, that's. Are you working with Paul any, or who? I can't remember who you working with
To get your music out?
Oh, Justin Barber is my drummer here in Tulsa. He's the one that's going to do the tour.
No. I meant your
like management,
or who's doing all your sound and all that stuff too.
Oh, I have a sound guy here in town named Jody Pease. He's doing the front house sound for me. He's a really great sound man. I really lucked out.
So he goes on the road with you?
Yeah, he goes on
cool.
the road with us, and
nice.
I've finally transitioned over into the new era of in-ears, because everybody has foregone the old stage wedges,
wedges,
that
yeah.
everyone used to have in front of us. And I've had to make myself get used to the in-ears, because they tried to make us wear them back in the day, and I really tried to make them work for me, and they just didn't back then. But now they're so advanced,
Yeah.
and the technology has come so far.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds just crisp and clean, and you can still, because my biggest problem with the in-ears back in the day was I couldn't hear the audience scream. I couldn't hear I couldn't get that feeling of a live audience. But now they just throw up a couple of audience mics, and it sounds like you're not even wearing in-ears.
That's
so
cool.
Yeah, that's a big change.
I really dig the in-ears now. I went from hating them to really, really liking them.
Protecting the hearing you still have left.
Yeah, protecting what I got left, and which I've been pretty lucky and blessed as far as that goes. I can't believe having two guitar players, wearing two guitar players like headphones for the last 15 years hasn't destroyed my hearing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a good thing. Yeah, they
but yeah, I love in-ears now.
Nice. So we're planning on seeing you here on the 13th of May at Katy, Texas, the Wildcatter Saloon. Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'll be with some friends of ours from Inner Image, Dead Set Red, and Bullet Head.
Yeah. And those all good.
All right.
Yeah, those all good guys. And Justin and them run a nice little place out there at Wildcatter, man. Oh, yeah. They do a good job.
And we're gonna put this out.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it, man.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get this out in time to kind of push this, right?
Yeah, bit. We will get this out in time to push this, man. And we anytime you have new music, anything out, man, we'd be more than willing to put the word out and talk to you again.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it. And I've never had a bad show in Texas. I love playing Texas. Texas is like its own continent.
Yeah.
You can tour Texas like Europe. It's awesome.
It is the southern region.
Yeah, but I'm so surprised you got out of Tennessee, man, with just so many people going there now, and you went to Oklahoma. But hey, sometimes that's where
yeah.
What drove you to Oklahoma?
Yeah, I'm curious.
If you don't mind.
I met my wife in 2003 at a show here.
Okay.
And we got married a year to the day later. We met on May 29th, 2003. And we got married at Graceland in Memphis at Elvis's house on May 29th, 2004.
Go ahead.
And we've been together ever since and had 3 beautiful kids.
Very cool.
Been together for 18 years.
Go ahead, man. So
that's where she's from, Oklahoma, then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, she's from Tulsa.
Okay.
She's an Okie from Muskogee. Or no, not really.
She is
Tulsa.
That's not far. Muscogee's not far from here, though.
It's not far. Neither is Pryor and Rocklahoma and all that, man. Yeah, it's all in that side of the state.
Yeah, that's right down the street.
Yeah, that's right. They
Well, thanks for taking time for us today, man. We really appreciate it. And we'll definitely see you on the 13th here.
Yeah, man. Thank y'all for having me.
And we appreciate
and I'll
it.
see y'all in Katy, Texas.
We will come see you, man. You take care. That's Josey Scott joining us today. Take care, Josey.
All right. I'll talk to you guys soon.
You bet.